Alright, we're back. This is EWS Sports. This is Daniel. I'm Jake. We're doing college football.
Week 11 preview. We're going to start with our Heisman picks. I'll be number 5. I'll say my number 5. Bryce Petty, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. Quarterback for Baylor. The undefeated Bears have a tough game this week. He has 2,453 yards passing and only 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I have him in my Heisman race too, but I'm surprised you have him that low.
Who's your number 5?
Anyway, my number 5 is the Northern Illinois quarterback Jordan Lynch. He's put up 1,871 passing yards, 19 passing TDs, and just take note that he has 1,150 rushing yards, and he leads the nation for QBs in rushing yards. And he's also put up 12 rushing TDs.
Yeah, great dual threat quarterback at Northern Illinois.
Probably one of the best in the nation.
If not the best.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Teddy Bridgewater. He wasn't in my top 5 last week, but looking back at his stats, he's just been phenomenal. He had one loss to UCF. He even had a pretty good game there. 73% completion percentage and over 2,500 yards.
Yeah. See, number 4 is where you got to put Bryce Petty. He's too good not to be in the top 4. He's, as you said, put up almost 2,500 passing yards, 18 passing TDs, including 6 rushing. And he's actually first in the FBS with 417.3 yards per game.
Wow, yeah, that's some great stats. At number 3, Johnny Football, 3rd in the nation in passing yards. He has over 2,800 passing yards and a 72% completion percentage. So efficient. He had 6 touchdowns last week against UTEP.
Oh, come on. You have him number 3.
It was a close one.
He's way too good to be number 3. 3, I have Jameis Winston. Top 3 was a very tough decision, actually. 3 great players. But anyway, Winston has 2,502 passing yards, 24 passing TDs, and he's been able to lead his team to victory over Miami, Maryland, and Clemson, 3 great teams.
Yeah, he had such a tough schedule. How can you not put him at number 2? He's my number 2. 70% completion rating, over 2,500 yard passing. He belongs in that spot.
Well, number 2, I have Johnny Manziel. He's just had an amazing season, and he's put up 2,867 passing yards, 26 passing TDs. That's just great. And along with over 500 rushing yards and 8 rushing TDs, he's just had a very solid year. Maybe he can repeat his Heisman year.
It's definitely possible, and at number 1, we both have Marcus Mariota, I'm sure. So, there's not much to say about him. 29 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, just 2,900, just under 2,900 all-purpose yards. This guy's just been incredible, leading a very good offense in Oregon, arguably one of the best in the nation. And I look to see what he can do versus his tough matchup this week versus Stanford.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch.
All right, now for our big games of the week. Let's start out with Houston Cougars going to University of Central Florida. This game is very big in the American Athletic Conference. These are the top 2 teams and could possibly decide who gets the BCS berth.
Yeah, I love this guy, John O'Corn, the quarterback for Houston. 8 touchdowns and 0 picks in his last 2 games. He has over 2,000 yards passing, and they average 41 points per game. UCF wins games, though, with their great coach, George O'Leary. They're not going to win this game. Go Cougs.
Yeah, I agree with you. Go Cougs. Houston's quarterback, John O'Corn, has just been way too good to not win this game. He's prepared for this situation. Almost beating BYU in a close one. This guy's going to be prepared. He does not want to lose this game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the Cougs are going to roll. Next, we're going BYU at Wisconsin.
All right, and Taysom Hill, he's a great dual-threat quarterback. Wisconsin's running game has been outstanding, but I think Taysom Hill is going to pull it out in this one.
At first, I was thinking Taysom Hill, but looking at Wisconsin's rushing stats, I have to go with Wisconsin. BYU's defense is really going to have to step up, and I don't think they will. I think Melvin Gordon's too strong, and they're 10th in the nation in rushing yards per game. So I got Badgers.
All right, and now two very important Thursday night games could possibly decide the BCS. First, we go to Waco, where the Oklahoma Sooners will visit the Baylor Bears.
Interesting game here. Baylor's explosive offense with their first true test. Baylor's top 7 in points per game, allowing points per game defensively, passing yards per game, and rushing yards per game. So I don't know how you can pick against Lance Seastrunk and this Baylor offense, including Bryce Petty.
Well, there's where you're wrong, Daniel, because that is the first true test of Bryce Petty. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great quarterback, one of the best in the nation. But I don't know how he'll handle his first true test of the year. I'm going Boomer Sooner.
That's a shocker for me. I really thought you were going to agree with me on this one. But let's go on.
Next, probably the best game of the year. Oregon will be playing Stanford in a game of the top 2 Pac-12 teams. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Stanford's looked great. 3 out of the last 4 games have been against ranked opponents, and they've won those 3 games. They lost to Utah in between, but Stanford looked great. They got a big front line, gives them a good push, and Trent Murphy with 9.5 sacks, 3rd in the nation.
So you're going with Stanford?
No.
You aren't? All
no,
right.
not so fast. Mario is too efficient.
All right, and I have to agree with you there, but just remember, last week you picked against Stanford and they ended up winning. But I also have to go with Oregon. I mean, their offense is way too explosive. Stanford's defense is very debatable. I mean,
they have a strong defense. I love their defense and their tough runners, but
yeah, but I just have Oregon in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, and next, the big game, College Game Day will be there. LSU will pay a trip to
Tuscaloosa, Alabama,
and face the #1 Alabama Crimson Tide. Could this be the first time that Alabama loses in pretty much a year?
I'll tell you why it's not going to be. Because LSU has lost 2 games, both away. I don't think they're comfortable going into tough environments. Tuscaloosa is one of the toughest in the nation, and the Bama O-line is giving them a huge push. They shut out Ole Miss, who beat LSU. So there's no way Jeremy Hill, who's facing the #1 defense in the country, will win this game for LSU.
I have to agree with you. Being at home for Alabama is very crucial in this game, playing a huge game. They were able to beat Texas A&M on the road, so I really think they can pull it out versus LSU.
Yep, that's all we have this week. We'll see you next week in our review for Week 11.
And our Week 12 preview.
Thanks for watching. This is EWS Sports Podcasting.